Next, we have Mr. Venkatesh Murthy. He's been a personal mentor also for me. We've interacted a lot, and he's the founder of Youth for Seva. He's been at it for several years, decade, I would say, and he'll be talking about how, as business, society, we can impact the community. So over to you, Venkatesh Murthy, sir.
Since morning, it has been a great celebration. It feels like a big festival in the family. And I was just asking, what are we celebrating since morning? So we have seen that we are actually celebrating accomplishments. Accomplishments of all our family members, our fellow travelers. And if we look back at our accomplishment, I'd ask this question, is it all because of my individual effort, or is there a contribution from others in the society? And we can easily discern that it's not just my individual effort. My success is not simply because of my effort. There is contribution from my family, people around me, and many people whom we don't even know. A farmer who grows our food, or even the building we are sitting. We don't know the construction workers who built this building. And since we work with construction workers, we know that most likely their children have missed the school. These are all migrant labor today who are coming and building these buildings. So people who build our schools, our homes, our workplaces, they all have missed their education. There is an immense contribution from the entire society in our success. So we all feel that we want to give back to society. This is a very inherent human urge that we want to give back to society. And I always say that first part of our career is about recognition, manyata. That's why we have Manyata Tech Park here. But after middle age, we feel that I need to see some fulfillment, dhanyata. So I always say that from Manyata Tech Park, we need to move to Dhanyata Seva Park. So that's when we actually feel a sense of fulfillment. What are the ways in which we can give back to society? There are only two ways. You give your time, you give your money. There is no other way you can give back to society. You either give your time or you give your money. While 90% of the people have this intent that I want to give back to society, very few actually translate into action. So we were looking at what is stopping people. When somebody wants to give time, somebody wants to volunteer, what is the hurdle? What is the bottleneck? When we discussed with a lot of young people, we found out there are only 2 or 3 things. First thing is people don't know what they can do. I have 3 hours in a week. What is that I can do? Often we see that when people want to volunteer, bunch of friends get together, they walk into an orphanage, they play with the children, give some chocolates, and with their smiling faces take a selfie, post it on social media and start counting the likes. Very often the volunteering ends here. But if you ask the question, what difference have you made to the lives of these children? There is really not much impact. This is what I call selfie volunteering. There is a feel-good factor that I visited an orphanage, brought smiles on the faces of children, but there is no impact. In fact, if they do this 3-4 times, they don't even have motivation to volunteer 4th time. What we have done in Youth for Seva is that how do we create structured, impactful volunteering programs? That way it's not just a one-time feel-good activity, but something that really makes a difference. We have volunteers from college students, corporate volunteers, homemakers, and even retired individuals. One very encouraging thing that I see in the current generation is that a big number of young people today are looking forward to meaning in life. What was a midlife crisis in our generation has come down to the college today. Many young people are looking, why am I studying? What is the purpose of life? One reason is also lessening of the financial responsibility. There is more financial freedom today. And I'm very happy to note that many college students today are running NGOs, and I'm so delighted to meet one such group here. Priyanshu and Shilpa, both are currently students at NITK. Please come forward. And they have already started an NGO 3 years ago and are working in 20 states across the country. And they are just third year and 4th year students. And this is not an exception. I see this kind of trend in many colleges today. But often we see that structuring, designing of programs is what is lacking. If you do that, there is a huge potential in the volunteering space. Today, YFS, Youth for Seva, has partnered with many big companies, whether it is Google, Adobe, Apple, Dell, Cisco. You name most of the big companies, there are corporate volunteering partners. Because companies also start in this type of selfie mode only first. We usually get a call. I have 50 employees who want to volunteer for a day. And the first question they ask is there a good hotel nearby, that government school? And one company even asked, what is the menu for breakfast? And we told idli, chutney, dosa. Is the chutney green color or red color? Because a lot of these are driven by HR people. They want to satisfy the employees. But that's a good first step, I would still say. It's a good step to get exposed. But today that is also maturing. Many companies are interested in impact. They are no more interested just in sensitizing, but really want to create impactful programs. So another domain which is really exploding today is the college volunteering. Today AICTE, which is the umbrella body for all engineering colleges, has mandated that all engineering students must earn something called activity points. They need to volunteer 60 hours in a year, every year, all through the engineering. So we are really flooded by engineering colleges that please engage our students. But how do you engage? Like recently, we got into an MOU with VTU, which covers 230 engineering colleges in Karnataka. And they said we had 2.5 lakh engineering students in Karnataka. Can you engage for 50 hours? Now look at the potential. 2.5 lakh students giving 50 hours. It's immense energy, young manpower. But how do we engage? NGOs cannot engage on this scale. So we have partnered with the government itself. We had meetings with Labor Department, Women and Child Development, Social Welfare Ministry, Primary Education Department, and identified what are all the problems that the government faces, which the volunteers can solve. Just to give you an example, Labor Department has something called e-Shram cards that they want to issue for the manual labor, and they can avail many benefits. Because during COVID, this is what government realized. Everyone was asking government, do something for migrant laborers. But where is the database? There is no database of labor community. So now the government has initiated e-Shram cards, and we are engaging every month hundreds of college students who will walk into the slums, do awareness programs for the communities, and actually enroll. The Labor Department has given us a login. We can even print the card right there. Like that, construction workers, they have a scheme, Kattada Kuli Karmikara Yojane, but they don't know how to avail these facilities, Ayushman Bharat cards. So we really want to integrate volunteering into the government system, and that's the only way you can engage. And Youth for Seva was instrumental in influencing this policy at AICTE, and we also have worked with National Education Policy. So in the coming years, when the NEP gets rolled out, every degree student will have to do service learning. Now the problem is 4.5 crore students will be volunteering, but who will give them the work? 4.5 crore degree students will have to volunteer 2 years from now. So on one hand, it's huge potential, but it's also a crisis. And if you don't engage meaningfully, we have seen what is happening. There are some agencies which have come up. They are taking 500 rupees donation and issuing certificates. They are even writing project reports, what they have done in the 60 hours of volunteering. So we don't want this to degenerate and truly enable this college volunteering into a very meaningful program. Apart from volunteering, we also work with corporates on their CSR projects. Our primary focus in CSR has been rural areas. Even though most companies ask, they are in Belandur, they are in Marathalli, Whitefield, please give us a government school within 3-kilometer radius. This is a common requirement. And every government school in Belandur, Marathalli is already adopted by at least 5 companies. They are over-pampered. So we are convincing companies, please invest in rural part of the state. And currently we are working in more than 400 government schools across Karnataka. And we are not focusing on the infrastructure because we have excellent partnership with Rotary, Lions, Roundtable. All of them are interested in buildings, even one school at a time. Our own alumni network is doing. And Youth for Seva focuses on enhancing learning levels in the school. Smart classrooms, computer labs, teachers training programs, and even motivational workshops for the government school teachers. So in collaboration, we can do a lot of things. We also have the health division called Doctors for Seva, through which we are running mobile medical units in tribal areas. In tribal areas in Siddhapura, Shirsi area, Malay Mahadeshwara Betta, and many other remote areas. We have a health worker in every tribal village, and also a mobile medical unit that caters to about 30-40 villages. We have scholarship program. I think I'm not going to elaborate on the programs, but what I have seen is that while corporates, even individuals, we all want to share our wealth and we want to give to a good cause, but what stops people from giving is trust deficit. There is always a question, is my money getting used properly? Will my money be invested properly? And this is what Youth for Seva has built, that credibility through transparency and integrity. Last year during COVID, NASCAM Foundation designated Youth for Seva as the official NGO partner for all COVID relief programs. So that kind of transparency and integrity we have built, and it's an invitation for everyone. Come and give your time. Always say that you first give your time. The moment you see the society, you will know where you have to give your money. Don't just give your money. And in fact, we don't partner with corporates who just want to donate money. We tell that your employees must volunteer. Only then we will take CSR money. So I invite all my fellows from KREC, NIT to partner with Youth for Seva and see how we can sensitize every employee in your company, and you yourself can volunteer. And again, because the name says youth, if some of you have retired already, there is no age limit here. If you are retired but not tired, you are still very welcome here. And in fact, as knowledge workers, your value is much more after retirement. You have immense experience, and we need this management expertise at the NGOs to scale up the programs. So with these few words, I'll end my opening remarks. Thank you, everyone.